Yeah. So one sort of thought I had, which is not even recently, but it sort of reemerged, was that with transcript training, which is when you are trying to learn like study vocabulary with content, short videos can actually be extremely helpful to get very niche words. Because just like I explained with like, okay, would you ever learn Spanish? Would you ever learn the word for roller coaster by having the flashcard and then repeating it over and over and over again? Or going out in the real world and then hearing the word flashcard, that sort of, hearing the word roller coaster from like your parents, right? That method of learning vocabulary is obviously superior. The way that shorts sort of, the benefit of shorts when it comes to learning vocabulary through content is that you can sort of emulate the main vocabulary from each sort of niche of words in like a 1 minute video that still gets you all the benefits from, learning that sort of unit of vocabulary that we might get in school, but also gets the added benefit of being content, right? Meaning it's spoken fast, with an accent and in context, right? And so those three things really, really helps you learn vocabulary. It's the reason why transcript training or, learning with content is superior to all these other methods, or basically flashcards, right? The reason that's the reason. And so I just sort of like, it could also be helpful where instead of having a 10-minute video on a broader topic or, one specific topic, it might be helpful to have 1 minute videos about very specific niches. And when you think about like how natives right now are learning Spanish, like how is Gen Alpha in Spain or in a Spanish-speaking country, how are they learning their vocabulary? Well, it's through short form content, isn't it? It's through TikTok, just in Spanish, right? And so, like, I learned the word mandible on TikTok, of course, right? That's me because obviously I'm pretty young. And so, there are words in English. Like, if you didn't know, the way I learned English, by the way, I'm not like a native speaker technically, but the main way was literally just watching like Minecraft YouTubers growing up, and then going to an international preschool. That's how I learned English. And so, like, the philosophy stands that learning in context through content is obviously the best way to learn vocabulary. And so a good way to sort of get the niche words is to just watch niche content that's shorter, but has more total complicated words or words per minute, rather than sort of a 10-minute video about a specific niche that might have those words as well. And the trade-off here is that you won't learn those words, as fast as if you watch that 10-minute video because there's less total repetition. But you get sort of wider scope of words. And so the trade-off is how well do you remember those? The longer the content in that niche, the better you'll remember those words. The shorter the content per niche of vocabulary, the more words you'll know, but you'll have a harder time remembering them. So that's the trade-off with short form content, and why it may be preferable if you're a bit more advanced in your vocabulary.